Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and/or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome to the creepy parlor, where we delve into the dark side with an undercurrent of light-hearted fun. Our discussions will explore gothic, macabre, or creepy topics. The first Tuesday of every month, we will host a haunted happy hour where you can join us for a group conversation that focuses on ghosts, weird events, urban legends, and more. Here at the Creepy Parlor, our subject matter may be spooky, but our spirits are high. You can catch the Creepy Parlor every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on WLFE DB Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Creepy Parlor. I'm Genevieve, and I will be your hostess for the next hour. I'm absolutely thrilled with my next guest this evening. Tonight is the first Tuesday of the month, so we have our Haunted Happy Hour, and I'm so happy to welcome Rob and Joan Carter. They were the original Happy Hour members for our Haunted Happy Hour with Jersey Shore Ghost Tours. So without any further delay, let me introduce my friends, Rob and Joan.
Hi, Jen.
Hello, Genevieve. Hi. Thanks for having us on the show.
Always coming back to the Haunted Happy Hour. I don't even have a drink to toast tonight.
We have water.
Hey, it's happy water.
There you go.
We've already got Jillian saying hello.
Hi, Jillian. We love you. Hey, Lauren. Love you too.
And our friend Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl, are you here yet? I mean, in Florida.
It sounds like you're asking like an ethereal, like, are you here yet?
Are you here yet?
Yeah, that was a spiritual question. You may hear some growling. It's not my stomach, and it's not a demon or anything. It's our dog.
It's our dog.
Oh, it's good to clarify, right?
Yes, just want to make sure you knew that.
Oh, Cheryl's leaving New Jersey on Friday.
Well, we're fully vaccinated, Cheryl.
In other words, come visit.
We can see each other in person.
And we do, I don't know if Cheryl will make it, but we do, just to get things announced, we do have a Haunted Happy Hour this Thursday. That'll be via Zoom, so maybe Cheryl can join us. But let me put that information up real quick. Hold on.
But if she's moving next Friday, probably going to be
probably not.
Yeah, it might be a little on the busy side.
So if anyone's interested in joining us on the Haunted Happy Hour, the banner's running right down there. You can find all the information right there. We'd love to have you. Hey, Natalie.
Hello, Natalie.
So topic of conversation this evening is one that was suggested by, I'm assuming Joan, because you guys came from the same messenger, so I'm assuming it was you, Joan.
You assumed correctly.
Yeah, she came through a portal.
She came through a portal. So we're going to be talking about portals and maybe touching on vortexes too.
You can't talk about portals without talking about vortexes. Vortices.
Vortices. Yeah, I think that's correct.
Everybody calls it vortexes, so.
Yeah, vortexes. So Joan, why don't you tell us a little bit about what portals actually are, if you don't mind?
Well, that's a good question. Nobody really does know. Ted Van Son, portals, oh boy. Sorry, Ted, I love portals. I find them very interesting. There's a lot of discussion about what portals actually are, okay? Mm-hmm. So some people think that portals are could be like a black hole type of thing that goes from one reality to another. So an interdimensional thing. Driving Ted crazy right now. Other people think that portals could be actually like a vortex, a space of energy. Okay. And some people think that a portal can be where the veil is thin between this life and the next life. So, I mean, there are a lot of different kinds of portals and different thoughts on what portals actually are.
My sister says that my eye is a portal.
I think it kind of is at this point.
And to kind of draw a difference there, the vortex is, I think, most commonly believed to be an area of energy that is more geographically, attached to an area. It can be a small area, or it can be a huge area like the Bermuda Triangle. And the energy goes in and out. It comes in and goes out from that area. And then the portals tend to be they appear near those vortexes most often.
Also, UFOs often appear near portals.
Yeah.
And vortexes.
I would imagine both. Yeah. Natalie says reality and time shifts and slips.
Time slips. Yeah, that's a really good one too. And nobody knows for sure if you're actually going through a portal when you go through a time slip, but I would imagine that you were, Yeah. Some people are probably listening to this conversation and going,
what? Going through a portal?
Well, did I go through a portal? Is this actually happening?
Well, nobody really knows, but it's all theory,
Yeah.
And it all makes sense when you experience, some of the areas that are known to be or talked about being vortexes and portal areas,
Yeah. And so some people believe that when you use a Ouija board, you're actually opening. Beth, hi, Beth. How are you doing? Beth is the founding member of Tampa Bay Spirits.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's not Beth's picture. That's her granddaughter.
Yeah, that is your granddaughter. You're looking good, Beth. Looking young.
Portal.
Went through a portal. Yeah.
Some people believe that Ouija boards open a portal.
Yeah, I've heard that theory.
In the dead. And so, we have friends that have gone to the portal of Aramu. Let me get this right. Aramumuru. And it's that portal you've probably, if you're into paranormal at all, and a lot of you watching the show, I assume are. Exactly. Theory and guesses.
Yep.
Absolutely.
None of us know for sure. And that's what it is completely. So that is the one that you've probably seen the picture of. It's in Peru near Beth likes to stay fresh. Well, you are looking really
distracting you with the comments.
Is near Lake Titicaca in Peru. And you've probably seen it. It's carved into stone, and you'll often see pictures of people standing there like this, in that portal, which is supposed to be a doorway. Okay, we're going to get really weird. There's another one similar to this at Mount Shasta, which are supposed to be doorways that lead to Lemurians. That is, if you believe in Lemuria.
What's Lemuria? This I've never heard.
You've never heard about Lemuria and Lemurians?
No.
Lemuria was supposed to be the bridge that in the Indian Ocean that attached to the two continents, and then it sunk just before Atlantis did. I have such a wealth of useless paranormal.
You're going to be on Jeopardy next week.
It's not useless. It's very useful for the Creepy Parlor.
And it's why lemurs are in Madagascar, but they are not in the Congo because Lemuria sunk. Seriously.
Well, now you're talking among primates too, so that's even cooler.
That's where Lemuria comes from. That was
interesting. Kind of similar to Atlantis, but not really.
Correct. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it was like a land bridge, and it sunk. And so this Ramumuru in Peru, in Lake Titicaca, was supposed to have been opened by this lord by that name, Aramamuru, who apparently was from Lemuria.
Jill wants to be Joan when she grows up.
Jillian wants to be Joan. Joan doesn't ever want to grow up.
I think that's the point. So isn't the correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Peruvian origin legend is based around Lake Titicaca. They believe the origin of the world was based in that area.
Yes, that is true. And what's interesting is there's supposed to be a portal in the Grand Canyon also, which the Yavapai people believe that's their origin story. Also, the same thing.
Right.
But the interesting thing about that one is, have you heard about Professor Jordan and G.E. Kincaid?
I did on your recommendation. I took a little peek around and looked up.
Took a little trip down the Colorado River, did you?
Took a little, yes. Took a little mental trip down the Colorado River to look at some portal information.
Yeah. And you found out that G.E. Kincaid worked for the Smithsonian, and as did Professor Jordan.
That was when
I think it was like 1909 or something.
1909.
Yeah, it was early.
And the Smithsonian denies it, but too many people saw them taking truckloads of stuff out of there. And do you remember what they found through that portal? And the Yavapai believe that that's the portal to the place that they came from, and that is their origin story. And they found this cave that they said was full of mummies, Egyptian mummies and hieroglyphs, Buddhist shrines, metal objects, just all different kinds of things. And they say that they took out tons of this stuff. And the Smithsonian says, no, never had a G.E. Kincaid work here, never heard of that, except that if you do research on it, they are both mentioned as having worked for the Smithsonian.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah. It's really interesting.
Hi, Dom.
Hi, Dominic.
Hey, Dom.
But the other thing that I was saying about Lemuria in Peru, in Titicaca, then we got into the origin story.
We got back.
If you go then to Mount Shasta in California, there's also a portal there. So one of our friends has been to the portal in Peru, and another one of our friends has been to the portal in Mount Shasta. And that's also connected to a tribe of indigenous people and their origin story. Isn't that interesting?
Okay. When it's one, it's a coincidence. When it's two, it's kind of like, all right, maybe. But when there's more and more, it makes me feel like there's something to it.
Yeah. And also there are people who believe that it's the doorway into Lemuria. Lemurians live at the bottom of Mount Shasta. I mean, and they see UFOs around Mount Shasta all the time. I know our friend has seen UFOs.
But they've gone up close by with, drones and helicopters and everything up, and they can't see anything. They can't find any openings or, anything that would look like it, so it's got to be supernatural.
But our friend has been up there and been at the portal. That's a triangular shaped one.
Is there an energy difference at that area?
Yeah.
Do they describe like that it feels different?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually everybody that goes up there and touches it does feel an energy difference, but I think different people have different I know different people have different experiences there.
Yeah.
Same with the one in Peru. Different people have different experiences.
There's a comment here. It's Facebook user, and I don't know who this is because it comes up as Facebook user on StreamYard. But they're saying that they used to live in a house that had 2 mirrors that were 7 feet high, 3 feet wide, that were made in the Renaissance era. They placed them across the room from each other in a very old house that was built during the Revolutionary War. I'd imagine not just visually too. You've got that infinity mirror thing. And I wish I knew who that was, but they're saying that they came into their mediumship during that time.
Well, that is something that you can do, is to set up the 2 mirrors
for centuries,
Yeah.
The mirror thing.
Yeah, so that's another thing. It's just a lot of stuff about portals.
I saw one of the things that I was looking up too is that we'll get back to the Grand Canyon a little bit, but I found another article on a portal in Duluth, Minnesota. It's the Chester Creek.
Haven't heard about that one.
Well, that's interesting because northern Minnesota is where they found a few years ago. They found all those giants. Skeletons of giants.
Yeah.
And those.
How do I not know about this?
And those skeletons have since disappeared, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, tell me. Okay, what do you know about giant skeletons?
Skeletons of giant humanoids
with double teeth.
With
rows of double
two
teeth.
rows of teeth.
Yeah.
How do I not know about this?
Because
there have been a lot of giant skeletons dug up around the country. A lot in Catalina.
Really?
Yeah, over 800, I think, were found in Catalina. There's actually photographic evidence of them, but they all disappeared.
Conveniently, right?
Conveniently. And they all had the double rows of teeth, but they were like, you know, maybe 8 feet tall. So, I mean, not like 30-foot tall giants or something, just, you know, Andre the Giant type giants in a bigger, much bigger heads to accommodate the double rows of teeth.
Interesting. I had read something years ago about, I think it was something where they thought King Arthur may have been buried, and they found what they believed was a giant skeleton buried in that area as well. But that's got to be a whole different area too. That whole like Stonehenge, all the monoliths and stuff. Any portal stuff going on there that you know of? I mean, it has to be, right?
There must be at least. It must be a vortex area, I would imagine, at least.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And below, I understand they've done the ground penetrating radar, lidar, whatever it's called. And they found another row of stones underneath.
Yeah. I saw that.
That's insane. That's great.
Yeah, Natalie's saying mirrors faced toward each other are total potential portals.
Absolutely. They've been used like that. I mean, people still use them like that for, you know, calling up spirits. Lauren's
literally taking notes. I'm saying somewhere about 10 feet plus. All right, I got to look this up. Maybe that's going to be another haunted happy hour subject, is to talk about giants and skeletons of giants and where they go.
And time slips. Natalie brought up time slips. That's another really interesting subject too.
Yes, that is absolutely. So what about so let's go back to the Grand Canyon, because I think that's really
crazy.
Yes. I did look up G.E. Kincaid on your recommendation, and once I started to see some of the information about the hieroglyphs, it's fascinating to me. And I gotta wonder if it was, I mean, do you think it's possible that you had people actually traveling that far that could have brought some of their civilization? Or do you, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's always a possibility, you know, that that the Egyptians traveled this far and that Vikings traveled this far. I mean, there is I don't understand why we think that couldn't have happened or didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, they had such amazing technology.
And at the same time, we had the Anasazi Indians, that the whole civilization disappeared out there in Arizona. In southern Utah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but yeah, I don't see why that couldn't have been possible. You know, we seem to think that our technology is so great and we know so much and everything like that, and nobody else could have done anything. But you know, they find skeletons and everything where brain surgery was being done by the Egyptians.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know, the Egyptians definitely could have come this far. Or it could have been a portal, because they found Egyptian things in there, Buddhist things from India, a lot of things from India. And they found a lot of different artifacts from different places.
Interesting. Ted says that Merlin was buried under Stonehenge.
I've heard that. That was one thing that they said.
Jillian's being a wise ass. Time Slip a Rocky Horror song. Yeah, I definitely think that it's possible. I mean, there's so much that we don't know about what their civilizations were like, and even the Inca in Peru. Like, there was so much that they've done that was so advanced.
Well, think about all the pyramids all around the world that we're finding. Up in the poles and everywhere.
Now I have extra bones in my mouth, so those could often be recessive genes from the giants.
And you're tiny. Yeah. Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
I don't know.
Ted says
the Anunnaki.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Machu Picchu. Like, how was that built?
I know.
Yeah.
That's really, our friend that went to the Peruvian portal also went up to Machu Picchu.
And the NASCAR lines.
The Nazca lines, yeah.
I find them to be absolutely
fascinating. Yeah.
Fascinating.
You can only see them from the air. So
yes.
What good did they do anybody?
Yep. And I've seen more recently, I don't have the exact cases of it happening, but areas in the I want to say like in Mexico, in that area, where they thought that it was just a giant hill, and then only to find that it was actually a buried pyramid.
Buried pyramid. There are
there's
buried
several.
pyramids.
There's some in Europe as well.
Yeah, all over Europe. They're finding buried pyramids everywhere. I mean, even under the poles, buried under the ice.
Under the ice?
Yeah, they're finding pyramids everywhere.
That's amazing.
Because they can take all of these satellite images now and find stuff like that, so it's really crazy. So to see very similar pyramids in Egypt, and like you said, by the Inca and the Mayan, and I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, I love Mayan culture. I got to go to the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon outside of Mexico before it was closed to the public, because that was over 50 years ago, people. Because I'm
Let's say it again. Joe's not cool.
So I got to go in there, and if you don't think there is energy there, I mean, wow! I went inside the pyramid.
Wow. Yeah.
I saw the paintings on the wall and everything. It was really, really awesome and exhausting.
Oh, I'm sure. There's
a lot of steps.
Yeah. And they're very steep, aren't they? Like, you have to sort of go up them sideways.
Yeah, they're very steep.
Yeah, the elevator was down that day.
The portal was down that day.
Portal
That's what they needed it for. The portal. I'm not going to climb up those steps. Yeah,
I don't know anything about the Black Pyramid of Alaska. Do you guys know anything about that?
No, I don't.
No.
Interesting.
Enlighten us, Ted.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that.
I know that there's vortexes in Alaska, and there's a Alaskan Triangle where over 14,000 people have gone missing.
Really?
Yeah, and they see lots of UFOs up there too.
My favorite part about this whole conversation is that Joan just says this like so nonchalant. She's like, and I know that there's the Alaskan, 14,000 people have gone missing. I'm like, how did I not know this?
I don't know. Like I said, all this useless nonsense.
Well, if you guys are interested in conversations like this and having a really fun time, you can join us on the Facebook group, facebook.com Haunted Happy Hour. We love having new people in our group. And we do try to keep the conversation going and on topic, but it gets a little bit difficult sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Have we ever had a
go
topic?
back to portals. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we've been investigating stuff for a long time. And many, many years ago, when our children, who are now
Old,
let's see, 55 down to 38, right? They, we took them when they were younger to a portal in Oregon because that's what you do, right?
and we left them there, but they came back. It's crazy.
Now, it's one that was investigated by Albert Einstein. And it's really schlocky. I mean,
Gold
it's got
Beach, I think.
Gold Hill, I think, Oregon. It's got a mystery house. And really, it's just
I know. I've
house.
heard of that one.
Yeah, it's just funhouse effect, where it
Yeah.
makes it look like you're standing sideways and stuff like that. So that part isn't worth anything. But the energy field there, which is what Einstein went to investigate and to study, was the magnetic energy there, which is different and shouldn't be there. It's an actual vortexes there.
Oh, wow.
And the Indians, I hate saying Indians because they're really, the indigenous people who were there, said they couldn't travel across it because their horses wouldn't go across it.
Wow.
And they said that the only animals that would go through it, the animals that would go through it, yes, there are in Volcano National Park in Hawaii. There's a portal there. Yep, in the volcano. Isn't that cool? Somebody took a picture of it too. Google it, Lauren. See if you can find the picture. So anyway, lizards and snakes would go in there, but other animals wouldn't. And really, when you stand in that energy field, you don't even hear crickets or anything.
No, you don't hear
or
any birds or anything.
Nothing. No, you don't hear any insects. And like,
how big is it?
How
big is it?
I don't think it's the actual vortex is very big.
Maybe a few acres.
I don't think it's even that.
I'll see if it tells here.
Maybe it tells. Yeah, it's a circular one though. I don't even think it's a quarter of an acre because I think you can walk through it.
Though we did. Lizards and snakes are demons, and that's why.
Then we are living in hell because we have lots.
Yeah, there's a lot by you, right? Let's just take a quick break, and then we'll get back. While Rob looks up the size of the portal, the vortex. Excuse me. Yes. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
I want to hear about that.
And we're back.
I want to hear about the Duluth one.
Yes, I will in a second. I just want to tell everybody that they can catch all of our shows on WLFE-DB.com. You can also catch up on all the old shows. You can watch us on Stream TV on the website. Please like, follow, and share us on Facebook. And real quick, before we get into Duluth, Robin Joan, can you tell everybody a little bit about your show on WLFE?
Okay, it's on 7 o'clock on Wednesday nights. Tomorrow, let me see, who are we having on tomorrow? We're having on Lillian and Dave Brummett, and they've written some poetry books, but they also do a lot of books about keeping the earth clean and eating fresh and that kind of stuff. And she is a survivor, has a survivor story. And Trish Ostrowski, who wrote a book, There's a Rooster in My Bathroom, who's had a very interesting life, traveled all the way around the world. But everyone that's watching this show, you're going to like our July 7th show.
July 7th. We're going to have Jim Bauk and Bob Long and Lisa O'Hara.
Yeah.
All on the same show. And
only an hour.
Yeah.
Well, we can go over a half an hour.
We'll probably have to stretch
so,
it. Supernaturally.
Jim Bauk and Robert Long were already on Ted's show. And they wrote Alien Abduction, The Control Factor. And Jim was a field director in MUFON. And Bob was abduction investigator. And so Lisa O'Hara, who wrote Abducted and Furious.
That would be my story too. Furious.
Yeah, really furious. Well, the control factor, see, the thing is, the really good thing about the control factor is they're talking about how you have to take control of this situation and not let this continue. And then that's what she's talking about. So they're going to be a good mix. But they've been in MUFON for years, Jim and Bob. So that is going to be really an interesting show. And anyone tuning into this show would probably like that one. July 7th. Don't miss it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Let me get your information going on the bottom too. You guys can check out Robin Joan here, and you can also find them on Facebook. Let's get back into portals while I find your banner. I got too many banners.
IndieBookSource.com.
IndieBookSource.com. Yeah. We promote all kinds of authors. Dominic, his 2 books, and Ted, his 2 books.
And there's a link to Meet the Author podcast there that has all the links to the vodcasts and the podcast. So you can get there that way.
And the show, it's been really fun. We've been having a really good time.
Got some good people on.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mom. You definitely get a lot of really cool people.
It's fun to hear their stories besides the stories that they've written, what their story is. You know what I mean? It's really been a joy. I've really enjoyed
their books are almost incidental.
I know the people are so interesting.
It's more interesting to hear their own
They're
stories.
Amazing people, all of them. I'm like, I've done nothing, you guys.
I feel like I've collected people through doing the Creepy Parlor. Like I've just keep collecting new friends.
Where do you put them?
Yeah.
in the vortex.
Very good.
Tell us about the portal in Duluth. I've never heard about it.
Yeah, so this is Chester Creek, Duluth, Minnesota. It's one of the first stories that was documented was a woman who had a wall of closets with full-length mirror, and she started to see that the mirror had slash marks in it, and she described it as kind of like they were weird oily marks that you could it looked like somebody had stuck their hand in something and smeared it across her mirror. And then so she had some other experiences there, like feeling like a cat was doing like happy feet on her and some other odd things. So when she started investigating, people were asking if she lived near the creek. And apparently they believe in that town, or at least they did at the time of this article being written, that the creek itself, the Chester Creek, was a portal. So there was that. Someone randomly hearing like people saying hey, like just shouting hey to them all around that area. And they've also described like a fizzy energy. Like that's how they describe
it. That sounds like a vortex, which a lot of people But that's
We gotta-
nice.
we gotta
And-
put a-
that is how people often describe what the energy that they feel in a portal and also in a vortex. I had a really interesting vortex story. We went to see Bell Rock. There are 5 major vortexes in Sedona, Arizona, and one of them is
That
Bell
was
Rock.
next on my list to ask you about.
We happened to go there, and and so we walked right to the base of Bell Rock where the vortex is supposed to be. Oh, hi Chanel. I like Chanel.
I love Chanel.
I know. And we stood there. I practically was touching the base of the mountain, walked right up to it, right? And so I'm standing there and I'm just trying to pick up on the energy, right? And all of a sudden I had this voice in my head say, this is such a weird thing too. I don't speak like this, you know. It said, call forth the wind.
It's so, it's so
like.
And there was no wind out. We're here in hot Arizona, right? Standing at the base of a rock, and believe me, it was hot. And so we're standing there, and so I called forth the wind.
And I was standing, about 5 feet behind you, and I didn't hear that. I didn't hear you.
And when I called forth the wind, this wind came up behind us and almost slammed us into the mountain. It was crazy. And I was like, what the? But actually what happened before that was the voice said, turn to the left. I turned to the left. And then it said, no, turn to the right, turn to the right. I think it was like the east and the west. And I did that. And then it said to call forth the wind. And I did. And that happened. So I don't know what that was all about, but.
No, but I felt the wind. I mean, the wind actually did do that. And then it was gone. I mean, it was a very calm day. It was hot out there.
Yeah. And the wind never blew again. So I've been afraid to call forth the wind again because I live in Florida.
Yes.
We don't need
I
any
don't
wind.
want to do that.
No.
If we're going to dial back over to Minnesota for a second,
Yes.
the 7 skeletons were found in 1888, and they were found in a sitting position in a burial mound near Clearwater, Minnesota, which is a little northwest of Minneapolis. So it wasn't quite up to Duluth, but it was up, north of Minneapolis anyway. And they all had a row of double rows of teeth, both upper and lower jaws.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I think what was happening around that time was there was a lot of interest, people trying to take unusual things and turn them into tourist
sideshows.
Sideshows and make money. So I think some of them may have been stolen that way and lost in the process, over the years. I don't know. Or they could have just been taken. Confiscated eventually.
Yeah. There were 7 of them, you said?
8.
7.
7. You're right. 1888, 7 skeletons.
8 feet tall.
Yeah, there you go.
Not sure who this is because it's coming up as Facebook user, but hello.
Hello.
More vortexes. Let's talk more vortexes. Sedona is a really popular place for these phenomena to happen.
You can feel the energy there. You really can. I mean, it's a beautiful place to begin with, but you can really feel the energy.
Yep.
Tell them about Soren.
Soren and me.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you're walking.
So
back.
then another time that we went there, my grandson, who was only 6,
Not 6, yeah.
maybe 6. Yeah, 6 because he's 8 now. Came up to visit with us and his mom and dad and his little sister. And so we were walking up and we took him to that part, and we went into Bell Rock and took him to that part and stuff like that. And they could all feel the energy. They could feel the vortex. And the energy at Bell Rock is really interesting because it makes you really happy,
We need that.
Oh yeah. It's really your happy place for sure. Everybody comes down and you see people walking up and then they come down and they're going, hi.
I think some of them were.
Yeah, some of them might have been literally hi. But so then we were coming back and, you know, my daughter would occasionally say, oh my gosh, I feel another one. And I mean, you can really feel the energy going through your body. So then we're walking and then, I mean, I felt a really strong one. And I'd said it so many times, oh, I feel the energy, that, you know, you get tired of saying, oh, I feel it. So I didn't say anything. And my grandson was holding my hand and he goes, whoa, Gran, are you feeling this one? Yes, I am.
That's so cute, though. I mean, he's getting this amazing experience that young. That's
Yeah. Well, both of them are empaths. Both the kids are very, very sensitive, and so, you know, we
not surprising.
Yeah, I know. We encourage that. We don't make them feel bad about it or anything, or what they see, or, you know, hear. When the little girl knew me when she was 2, less than 2, not even 2, I think a year and a half old, she was sitting looking the wrong way because, you know, her car seat was still facing back, and her dad was driving them all to our house, and she says to him from the back seat, hey, Dad, we're out of gas. And he goes, no, Yumi, we're not out of gas. And she said, yes, we are. And then this is so funny. The gas gauge went off and he goes, yes, we are.
Ding.
She's so psychic. It was calling the corners. No, that's not in the Upper Peninsula, is it?
No, and we already talked about that it was in.
Oh, yeah.
Just north of Minneapolis.
How do you think places like the Bermuda Triangle factor into this sort of thing? I mean, everyone knows that one. It's like, you know, the most famous one, probably.
Yeah.
It is, and it's so, it's very much energy too, because, I mean, actually pilots will tell you that strange magnetic stuff goes on with all of their instruments. That's no
it's like
theory. That's a fact, you know?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of these portals and vortexes do definitely have a different magnetic energy, which can be measured. You know, you can actually measure it. So it has something to do with that, I would imagine. But, you know, some people think it's a gateway into another, not just another between the veil of life and death, but, you know,
into other dimensions and into other
realms and dimensions. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you feel like the portal to hell and things like that. So it makes you a little nervous.
Yeah, right.
We do have some places in New Jersey too, that are, I guess people are calling them portals. Like there's a lot of, I mean, if everyone's familiar with Weird New Jersey, there's a lot of strange things in our town, in our state. That's the place we're in. There's a lot of weird stuff, but there was one down in, I think, Pennsville, New Jersey, down in South Jersey, that was, they believed to be a portal that was allowing a lot of not very good energy coming in through the area. And it wasn't based in a particularly old home. It was, but I think people forget that, you know, just because the home is not old does not mean it doesn't have these particular anomalies.
Well, sure. Or even, you know, hauntings, because there were people living here before we were living here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I get that a lot of times too. People will tell me that they think their house might be haunted, but they don't think it's old enough for it to be haunted.
The land is old enough.
Sorry, guys. Let's see what Dave's got to say. Oh, the energy was having you call the corners, the directions, and then the great spirit wind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah. Why? Do you know why, Dave?
Maybe they needed the rock moved. Oh,
Maybe they knew it was really warm and you guys needed a nice
the breath
breeze.
of air. Yeah.
One of my friends that's really into metaphysics. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, Natalie.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, Natalie. It is. Yep. It is often tied to the land. And sometimes, you can have elementals and things like that are tied to the land that you're not going to get rid of those. I mean,
that's their land.
They're there to stay,
That's right. They've staked it out.
Yep. Well, it was given to them. So it's theirs. So
you were saying something about the right before that, I lost it. We lost train of thought.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it was about the energy calling the corners.
Yeah. That's interesting. Oh yeah, I said I had a friend that's really into metaphysical stuff.
Oh yes.
She told me what she thought it was, but now I forget what it was. But it was something about the wind, that it was that it was the universe communicating to me, and that it was really quite a blessing and an honor to have that.
I was gonna. It sounds like it would have been an honor.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I've never had anything like that happen before, and I haven't had anything happen like that since.
No.
Yet.
But I would like to go back to Sedona.
Possibilities open.
I especially like Bell Rock, since everybody comes back happy from there. There's another one called Boynton Canyon that actually is still used today by and I forget which tribe uses it, but they still use it for their sacred ceremonies. And if you go to Boynton Canyon, it's a very sacred space, and you should do it with respect and be sure not to interrupt anything that's going on there, because
I wonder what the tie-in is with ley lines and things like that.
I think it's got a lot to do with it, because they're basically magnetic lines,
We think a lot of things have to do with ley lines.
Like what?
Just if you notice a lot of the different stones that you'll find in different places, like in France and stuff, they line up with ley lines. And the pyramids in different places will line up with ley lines, which also line up with the Orion constellation. I mean, it's too many coincidences to not mean something,
Yeah, just because we don't understand it doesn't mean it doesn't mean something.
Right.
Definitely. And like, he thinks that a lot of the aliens that we see, he thinks they're time travelers.
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
Not all of them, but
some of them.
What makes you think that, Rob?
It just, I don't know, makes sense to me. I don't have anything, to base it on. I just think it's a very good possibility that could be.
And no one's going to tell you you're wrong because they don't know either.
No, nobody. Well, there knows.
You go. After reading this alien abduction, the control factor, oh, geez. It doesn't sound like a very happy thing.
Well, we've talked a little bit about alien abductions and things like that in the Haunted Happy Hour. I'll just give it another plug again. And we've talked a little bit about that stuff, and even gotten into a little bit with cryptids and things like that. So it's definitely part of the conversation. If anybody wants to, if anyone wants to sign up and join us, we do definitely have fun, and we have a nice little community that we've created with it.
Yes. Friendly people, loving people, sweet people. Guess what? We haven't mentioned Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh my God. The number one.
Number one portal.
I thought we weren't supposed to say it. I thought you're not supposed to say the word.
Oh, Skinwalker?
Yeah.
Well, we're not on the ranch.
Well,
so
I'm not an indigenous person.
Yeah, we're not on the ranch.
Can you tell?
Apparently, Dave and Lauren said that we're gonna go visit you guys in Florida. So.
We're fully vaccinated. Just saying.
There you go.
So what about the ranch? Did you want to touch on that real quick? We only got a few minutes left.
Yeah, I mean, actually, oh gosh, what was his name? The one that used to own the place before.
Robert Bigelow.
Robert Bigelow. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
They actually have videos of a portal being opened that looked like a tunnel, and then an entity like crawling through the tunnel and then dropping down into the ground. That the portal was in midair, by the way, not down on the ground. And then like dropping down and landing and running off.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that, but I kind of don't.
He wants to go to Skinwalker Ranch, to the Unita Basin in Utah. And I've been to a lot of crazy places.
The campground is not on Skinwalker Ranch. It's like 20 miles away.
That's acceptable.
Yeah, they won't go over there. Why do they want to go over there? They got a whole ranch.
Something told me to call forth the wind. What the hell do you think is going to happen to me on Skinwalker Ranch?
You know what? That's true. That's true. I mean,
yeah. Well, Julian, yes, if you're an indigenous person, that is their superstition. I just have all my Irish superstitions. I really can't be bothered with the indigenous ones too.
We got a lot of Irish ones, don't we? Natalie says she read the book, The Creepy Thing Crawling Out.
Yeah, it was the tall black thing, right?
I'm gonna have to look into that one too. It sounds like that one would really kind of scare me a bit.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of these scare me. It's like 46 years ago, we went out to the Arizona desert and lay down there near the meteor crater when there was nothing there, by the way, no lights or anything like that. Now it's all built up, but we're laying out there on the ground waiting to be picked up by a UFO. Now I'm thinking,
maybe we did.
Wow,
no.
Are you stupid or something?
Why would we do
Not
that?
even the UFOs. Aren't there like crazy animals out there that'll get you at night?
Well, that's what we thought about after a while.
That's what bothered me.
We could hear them slithering in the grass. So
I could hear stuff going, and I said to him, okay, done.
Because there's actually no other noises out there. You know, it's like.
Where was this?
There's a place called Meteor Crater, and that was 46 years ago, and it wasn't.
There's like a 30-mile road that goes out to it, you know.
Yeah, 30-mile dirt road at that time.
Boy.
In the desert. And it's a big crater caused by a meteor.
A meteor.
And it's where NASA used to send the astronauts to,
to train before they went to the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Little known fact, I went to space camp, so I trained for the moon too. That whole area and county is a vortex.
Oh yeah, the Unita. Exactly. That is my opinion, Natalie, and that's what I am saying to him.
I think
I'm not going there.
I think the campground was a little bit outside the county line. It was the line was there. They're not going to go outside of the county.
I mean, they're not going to go outside the line. They respect those boundaries.
Why would I know, right?
Not going. There are some places I'm not going. That's one of the places.
It's bad if Joan's not going.
It's bad.
Yeah, I guess you got a point there.
They've seen dire wolves, which, if I would love to see a dire wolf and hug a dire wolf because I really, love animals, but, they're pretty big. And they're wolves.
Yeah, the whole wild animal aspect might not be so...
Prehistoric wolves that apparently have not existed for over 10,000 years or 10 million years.
You might find yourself in a dire situation.
And they're still roaming the community.
Rob, I got to give you credit. That was the first joke, the first pun of the whole hour.
Sorry.
That I caught.
Only one. Yay.
Well, we only have a few minutes left. If you guys wouldn't mind reminding everybody where they can find you.
We're right here.
You can find us on indiebooksource.com, and where we we publicize tons of authors. I mean,
Yep. If you're an indie
a lot of
published
them,
author, check it
Dominic
out.
and Ted being two of the authors that we publicize, including our own books, are on there. And
Sure, right there, by the way.
yes, there. I'm looking at them. Bioprints,
Yes.
Flash Zombie, and Clune Drones. And go ahead.
No, it's excellent. Thank you.
You can also find us in carternovels.com.
And
You
they're
can-
on Amazon, the books.
Oh, yeah. All of the books of all of our authors are on Amazon. And if you go to Indie Book Source, you can get a direct link to any of their books on Amazon.
Very, very cool. Real quick, I'm just going to throw up the Haunted Happy Hour information. Anyone that would like to join us, or in addition to that, if you'd like to be a guest on the next Haunted Happy Hour for the Creepy Parlor, I'm not sure what the topic will be yet, but we'd love to have you. So check us out, facebook.com, groups, Haunted Happy Hour. We love meeting new people, and it's a really fun group of people.
Can I just say, come to our show tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Oh, it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. You'll be late if you get there at 8.
You can watch
see me inside the drag closet
Yeah,
at 8.
that's not our show.
8:30.
Oddly
No,
enough.
that's not on until 8:30.
That's right.
So you won't see anyone, dead air.
There you go.
But anyway, come see our show tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Everybody-
Who's your guest? Who are your guests tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Dave and Lillian Brummett and Trish
Ostrowski.
Ostrowski.
And
Excellent.
there's book giveaways
Yeah.
pretty much every show.
Every show.
So you got a chance to win a autographed book or an ebook
yeah, the Drummets are from Canada, so it'll be an ebook
from them. Yeah. Because of
Awesome.
postage.
because the postage is ridiculous.
Well, thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I can't wait to
was.
Thank
come
you.
up
It
with-
was fun.
Thank
Next
you for
time.
having us.
Yeah, and I'll see you guys on Thursday, right?
Hey,
You
love all.
betcha.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
Happy Haunted Hour family will be there.
Excellent. Thank you guys.
Everybody else that's watching, come to Happy Haunted Hour too. Yeah,
Yes, please.
you can be
It's
part
a
of the crazy.
It's a lot of fun. Definitely check out Robin Joan. Also, WLFE-DB.com, where you can find all these other great shows. We have tons of wonderful content over there. You can also catch me over at Psychomantium 13 as well, which is what we're cross-posting on right now. There's a lot of great content everywhere. There's something literally for everybody. If you stay tuned here on WLFE-DB, you can catch Where's My Sage? All sorts of great, like I said, all sorts of great stuff. So with that, I want to say thank you again to Robin Joan, and also thank you to all you guys for watching. A lot of great comments, a lot of great conversation tonight. And check us out on Haunted Happy Hour, please. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next week.
Night, y'all.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us on the Creepy Parlor. Join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for another fantastic show.